ओम अज्ञानम तिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानांजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वरूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सायकं रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधाकृष्ण पदान् सायकं ललिता शिव विशाखाविदं च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपेकांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay. We'll start with chapter 5, realizing that God is everywhere. ईशु प्रभु।
जी प्रभु, आवाज आ रही है मेरे प्रभु?
यस प्रभु जी, यस आ रही है, बढ़िया।
Maharaj Prahlad informed his classmates about all pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. But although the Supreme Lord in all pervasiveness by means of his expansion and his energy, that does not mean he has lost his personality. That is significant. Although he is pervading, still he is a person. According to our material perception, if something is all pervading, then it has no personality, no localized aspect. But God is not like that. For example, the sun shines is all pervading, but sun also has a localized aspect, the sun planet, and you can see it. Not only is there a sun planet, but within the sun planet is a sun god, whose name is Vivaswan. We get this information from Vedic literature. There's no way to understand that what is taking place on other planets except to hear from authorized sources. In the modern civilization, we accept scientists as authorities in these matters. We hear scientists say, "We have seen the moon. It is such and such," and we believe it. We have not gone with the scientists to see the moon, but we believe him. Very good.
Hare Krishna. Deepak Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Belief is the basic principle of understanding. You may believe the scientist or you may believe the Vedas. It is up to you which source you believe. The difference is that the information from the Vedas is infallible, while it received from the scientist is fallible. Why is the scientist information fallible? Because an ordinary man conditioned by material nature has four defects. What are they? The first is that a conditioned human being has imperfect senses. We view the sun as a small disk. Why? It is a far, far greater than this earth, but we see it as just a disk. Everyone knows that our seeing power, our hearing power, and so on are limited. And because his senses are imperfect, the conditioned soul is sure to commit mistakes. However great a scientist he may be, not very long ago in this country, there was a disaster when the scientists tried to send a rocket up, but it take at once burned to ashes. So there was a mistake. The conditioned soul must make mistakes because there is a nature of conditioned life. The mistake may be very great or very slight. That doesn't matter. But a human being conditioned by material nature is sure to commit mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Kanak. Up.
Further, the conditioned soul must become illusioned. This happens when he continually mistakes one thing for something else. For example, we accept the body as a self. Since I am not this body, my acceptance of the body as myself is an illusion. The whole world is going on under the illusion that I am this body. Therefore, there is no peace. I am thinking that I am Indian. You are thinking that you are American, and a Chinese man is thinking that he is Chinese. What is this Chinese, American, and Indian? It is an illusion based on the body. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The propensity to cheat is the fourth defect of conditioned life. I may be a fool. I may be a fool, but I will boast that I am very learned. Everyone who is illusioned and commits mistakes is a fool. But still such fools pose themselves as being source of infallible knowledge. So all conditioned souls have imperfect senses. They are subject to commit mistakes and become illusioned. And they are influenced by the propensity to cheat. Yes, issue 2.
How can one accept real knowledge from such conditioned souls? There is no scientist, a philosopher, or whatever. Because he is conditioned, he cannot give complete information, no matter how educated he may be. That is a fact.
Deepaku.
It's true. One may One may now ask, how can we get complete information? The process is to receive knowledge via the disciplic succession of spiritual masters and disciplic beginning with Krishna. Disciples beginning with Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was first spoken by me to the Sun God, and the Sun God spoke it to his son, Manu. In turn, Manu spoke this knowledge to his son Ishkavaku, and then Ikshvaku spoke the same to his son. In this way, the knowledge has come down. But unfortunately, that disciplic succession is now broken. Therefore, O Arjuna, I am not imparting the same knowledge to you, because you are my very dear friend and good devotee. This is the process of receiving perfect knowledge, to accept the transcendental vibration coming down from. Prabhuji, can you?
Sorry.
From higher sources. The entire stock of Vedic knowledge is transcendental vibration to help us understand the Supreme Lord. Krishna.
So Prahlad Maharaj says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is identical with all the pervading Supreme Soul, the Paramatma. The same information appears in the Brahm Samhita that the Supreme Lord, although situated in his own transcendental abode, is all pervading. Still, although he is present everywhere, we cannot see him with our imperfect senses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj then says, although he is not seen, he can still be perceived. One who is intelligent can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord everywhere. How is this possible? During the daytime, during daytime, even when someone in a room, even someone in a room can know that the sun is up because it is light in his room. He can understand that the sun is shining in the sky. Similarly, those who have received the perfect knowledge in disciplic succession know that everything is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they see the Lord everywhere. Yes, issue 2.
What can we perceive with our material senses? We can see what is visible to the material eye: earth, water, fire. But we cannot see air, although we can perceive it by touch. We can understand that there is a sky by sound, and we can understand that we have a mind because we are thinking, feeling, and willing. Similarly, we can understand that we have an intelligence which guides the mind. If we go still further, we can understand that I'm consciousness. And one who is further advanced can understand that the source of consciousness is the soul, and above all, the super soul.
Deepak Prabhu.
Yes. Sorry. The visible things around us are expansions of the inferior energy of the Supreme Lord. But the Lord also has a superior energy. Consciousness. We have to understand consciousness from higher authorities, but we can also directly perceive it. For example, we can perceive that there is a consciousness spread all over the body. If I pinch any part of my body, I will feel pain. That means there is a consciousness throughout my body. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says we should try to understand that consciousness is spread all over the body and that it is eternal. Similarly, consciousness is spread all over this universe, but that is not our consciousness, that is God's consciousness. So, God, the Supreme Soul, is all pervading. By his consciousness, one who understands this has begun his Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Our purpose is to dovetail our consciousness with Krishna consciousness that will make us perfect. It is not that we merge into that consciousness. In our sense, we merge, but still we keep our individuality. That is the difference between impersonalist philosophy and Krishna conscious philosophy. The impersonalist philosopher says that perfection means to merge into the supreme and lose our individuality. We say that in the perfectional stage, we merge into the supreme, but we keep our individuality. How is that? And how is that? An airplane starts from the airport and climbs up and up and up. And when it goes very high, we cannot see it. We can simply see sky, but that airplane is not lost. It is still there. Another example is that of a green bird entering into a big green tree. We cannot distinguish the bird from the tree, but they both continue to exist. Similarly, the Supreme Consciousness is Krishna, and we dovetail our individual consciousness with the Supreme. We become perfect, but we keep our individuality. An outsider may think that there is no distinction between God and his pure devotee, but it is due to only poor fund of knowledge. Every individual person, every individual being maintains his individuality eternally, even when dovetailed with the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Prahlad Maharaj says that we cannot see consciousness, either supreme consciousness or individual consciousness, but it is here. How can we understand that it is here? We can understand the supreme consciousness and our individual consciousness simply by perception of blissfulness. Because we have consciousness, we can feel ananda or pleasure. Without consciousness, there is no feeling of pleasure. Because of consciousness, we can enjoy life by applying our senses in whatever way we like. But as soon as consciousness is gone from the body, we cannot enjoy our senses.
Our consciousness exists because we are a part and parcel of the Supreme Consciousness. For example, a spark is only a tiny particle of the fire, yet the spark is also a fire. A drop of all Atlantic Ocean possesses the same quality as of all the ocean water. It is also salty. Similarly, because the pleasure potency exists in the Supreme Lord, we can also enjoy pleasure. The Lord is Parameshwara, the Supreme Controller. Therefore, we are also Ishvara or controllers. For example, I have some controlling powers to take a drink of water when I cough. According to our capacity, every one of us has some controlling power, but we are not the Supreme Controller. The Supreme Controller is God Krishna.
Yes, because Krishna is the supreme controller, he can control all the universal affairs by his different potencies. I also feel that I am controlling my bodily affairs to some extent. But because I am not the supreme controller, if there is something wrong in this body, I have to go to a physician. Similarly, I have no control over other bodies. I speak of this hand as my hand because I can work with this hand and move it according to my desire. But I am not the controller of your hand. If I desire to move your hand, that is not in my power. That is in your power. You can move your hand if you like. So I am not the controller of your body, and you are not the controller of my body. But the Supreme Soul is the controller of your body and my body and everybody. Hare Krishna.
In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that you, the soul, are present in your body, and your body is the field of your activities. So whatever you are doing is limited by the field of your body. An animal bound up in certain tract of land can move there, but cannot go beyond what that space allows. Similarly, your activity and my activity are bound up within the limits of our bodies. My body is my field of activities, and your body is your field of activities. But Krishna says, I am present in every field. Hare Krishna.
Thus, Krishna, as a super soul or Paramatma, knows that what is going on in my body, in your body, and in millions and billions of other bodies. Therefore, he is the supreme controller. We have our limited energy, but his energy is unlimited. By his controlling power, by his supreme will, this material creation is moving. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna states, under my superintendence, the whole material world is working. Whole material nature is working. All wonderful things that you see in this material world are due to my supervision, my supreme control. Moving to the chapter 6, Krishna consciousness, the perfection of mercy. Yes, issue 2.
Prahlad Maharaj now gives his conclusion. My dear friends, because the Supreme Lord, my dear friends, because the Supreme Lord is present everywhere and because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, our duty is to be merciful to all living entities. When a person in a lower position, we have a duty to help him. For example, because a child is helpless, he is dependent on the mercy of the parents. Mother, I want this. Yes, my dear child. We should be
Oh, sorry. Yes.
we should be compassionate to all the living entities and should show them mercy.
Deepak Proof.
Yes, Roji, मेरा तो touch pad काम नहीं कर रहा है. Yes. How can we show our mercy to everyone? There are millions and millions of poor people. So how can we show them all mercy? Are we able to supply clothing and food to all the needy persons of the world? That is not possible. How? Then can we be merciful to every living entity? By giving them Krishna consciousness. That is how Prahlad Maharaj is showing his class friends a real mercy. They were all foods devoid of Krishna consciousness, and therefore he was showing them how to become Krishna conscious. So this is the highest mercy. If you want to show any mercy at all to the living entities, then enlighten them in Krishna consciousness, as Prahlad Maharaj did. Otherwise, it is materially beyond your power to show mercy.
My dear friends, Prahlad says, give up this demonic life. Give up this nonsense. The belief that there is no God is the demonic feature that Prahlad Maharaj requests his friends to give up because they were born in the families of demons and were being instructed by the demonic teachers. Prahlad Maharaj were thinking, who is God? There is no God. We find in the Bhagavad Gita that people of this mentality are called miscreants, for they always try to make mischief. They may be very well educated, but their plan is to cheat. We have practical experience. They are highly educated with so many qualifications and are nicely dressed, but their mentality is more base than that of a dog. This man has some money, so let us conspire to cheat him. They are simply miscreants. Hare Krishna.
What are they cheating for? Simply for sense gratification, just like an ass who does not know the purpose of life. He is kept over the washerman who loads his back as much as possible. In this way, the ass works the whole day with this burden, simply for a few morsels of grass. Similarly, materialistic people work very hard simply for a little insignificant sense gratification. Therefore, they are compared to asses. They are always planning something mischievous. They are the lowest of mankind because they do not believe in God. Why? Their knowledge has been plundered by the influence of material energy because they deny the existence of God. Illusion impels them. Yes, there is no God. Work hard and commit sins so that you may go to hell. Allah. Prahlad Maharaj requests his demonic friends to give up this idea that there is no God. If we give up this nonsensical idea, then the Supreme Lord, who is beyond our perception, will be pleased and show his mercy to us. Okay, so we have completed our 10th book as well by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. Hari Bol. Yeah. So about the author, we can.
मैं पढ़ूं प्रभु
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
about the author. His divine grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada appeared in this world in 1896 in Calcutta, India. He first met his spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Gosvami in Calcutta in 1922. Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, a prominent religious scholar and the founder of 64 Gaudiya Mathas, Vedic institution in India. Like this education, young man and convinced him to dedicate his life to teaching Vedic knowledge. Srila Prabhupada became his student, and in 1933 he became a formally initiated disciple. At their first meeting, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati requested Srila Prabhupada to broadcast Vedic knowledge in English. In the year that followed, Srila Prabhupada wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, assisted the Gaudiya Mathas in its work, and in 1944 started Back to Godhead, an English fortnightly magazine. Single-handedly, Srila Prabhupada edited it, typed the manuscripts, checked the galley proofs, and even distributed the individual copies. The magazine is now being continued by his disciple in the West. In 1950, Srila Prabhupada retired from the married life, adopting the Vanaprastha retired order to devote more time to his studies and writing. He traveled to the holy cities of Vrindavan, where he lived in humble circumstances in the historic temple of Radha Damodar. There he engaged for several years in a deep study and writing. He accepted the renounced order of a life sannyasa in 1959. At Radha Damodar, Srila Prabhupada began work on his life masterpiece, a multi-volume commented translation of 18,000 verses, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavata Puran. He also wrote Easy Journey to Other Planets. After publishing 3 volumes of Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada come to United States in September 1965 to fulfill the mission of his spiritual master. Subsequently, His Divine Grace wrote more than 50 volumes of authoritative commentary, translation, and summary studies of the philosophy and religious classes of India. When he first arrived by the Frischler in New York City, Srila Prabhupada was practically penniless. Only after almost a year of great difficulty did he establish the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in July of 1966. Before he passed away on November 14, 1977, he had guided the society and seen it grow to a worldwide confederation of more than 1,000 ashramas, schools, temples, institutions, and farm communities. In 1972, His Divine Grace introduced the Vedic system of primary and secondary education in the West by founding the Gurukula system in Dallas, Texas. Since then, his disciple has been established similar schools throughout the United States and the rest of the world. Srila Prabhupada also inspired the construction of several large international cultural centers in India. The center at Sridham Mayapur is a site for a planned spiritual city, an ambitious project for which construction will extend over many years to come. The Vrindavan are the magnificent Krishna Balrama temple, an international guest house, local school, and the Srila Prabhupada Memorial and Museum. There is a major cultural and educational center in Mumbai. There are beautiful temples in Delhi, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Baroda, besides many other centers throughout India. Srila Prabhupada's most significant contribution, however, is his book, highly respected by scholars. For their authority, depth, and clarity, they are used as textbooks in numerous college courses. His writing has been translated into over 50 languages. The Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, established in 1972 to publish the work of His Divine Grace, has thus become the world's largest publisher of books in the field of Indian religion and philosophy. In just 12 years, despite his advanced age, Srila Prabhupada circled the globe 14 times on lecture tours that took him to 6 continents. Yet, this vigorous schedule that did not slow his prolific literature output. His writing constitute a veritable library of Vedic philosophy, religion, literature, and culture.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So we can start with the learnings.
Sure,
Yes, Ishu Prabhuji. Ishu Prabhuji can start.
Prabhuji, you go first.
Okay. Okay, Randeep Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, Prabhuji, I have 2 points. Like, जैसे कि प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे थे कि मैं अपनी बॉडी का नियंत्रण मतलब कंट्रोलर हूँ, जैसे कि मैं अपने हाथ को मूव कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन किसी और के हाथ को मूव नहीं कर सकता। और उसी तरह सामने वाला भी हमारी बॉडी का कंट्रोलर नहीं है तो किसी और की बॉडी का, लेकिन जो सुप्रीम कंट्रोलर है भगवान, वो हर चीज के कंट्रोलर है, वो मेरी बॉडी के भी, आप दूसरे की बॉडी के भी और सबकी बॉडी के भी। तो ये पॉइंट काफी अच्छा लगा था प्रभु जी कि हम भगवान में और हमें क्या डिफरेंस है, यहाँ से हम समझ सकते हैं। और जो और एक और पॉइंट इसमें जोड़ा था प्रभुपाद जी ने कि हमारी जो कॉन्शियसनेस है वो सिर्फ हमारी बॉडी तक सीमित है, लेकिन जो भगवान की कॉन्शियसनेस है वो पूरे वर्ल्ड, पूरे जगत की कॉन्शियसनेस में मतलब फैली हुई है। तो भगवान हर चीज के कंट्रोलर है। एंड एक और पॉइंट मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा था कि रियल मर्सी का, जो रियल मर्सी है वो कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है। हम जो मैटेरियली बता रहे थे कि मैटेरियली अगर हम मर्सीफुल होते हैं तो वो हमारी पावर नहीं है उतनी, मतलब कि हम उतना मर्सी दिखा सके मैटेरियली, क्योंकि हम क्या ही दे सकते हैं किसी को ना, मतलब हम हरिनाम की जगह क्या ही दे सकते हैं, और उसके वो कुछ काम भी नहीं आने वाला, मतलब बस टेम्परेरी सॉल्यूशन रहेगा उसके लिए, लेकिन इन फ्यूचर वो भी सॉल्यूशन नहीं रहेगा, फिर उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स ही चेंज हो जाएंगी, फिर उसको कुछ और प्रॉब्लम्स रहेगी। तो हम अगर कुछ हमको रियल मर्सी दिखानी है तो हमें कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करनी चाहिए, है ना। तो ये पॉइंट काफी अच्छा लगा था। यस,
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Kanak.
हरे कृष्णा। मुझे भी सबसे ज्यादा अच्छा पॉइंट यही वाला लगा था, रियल मर्सी वाला। उसमें मतलब मैंने ये चीज सीखी कि प्रहलाद महाराज है वो सबको कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस तो दे रहे हैं, बट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस दे कैसे सकते हैं, नॉट ओनली थ्रू नॉलेज, लेकिन सबसे पहले अगर हम कोई अननोइंगली है जिसे हम नहीं जानते हैं, फर्स्ट टाइम मिल रहे हैं, तो हम उसे कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस कैसे देंगे, नॉट थ्रू नॉलेज बट थ्रू आवर बिहेवियर। हम अपने आचरण से किसी को सबसे पहले कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस दे सकते हैं, उसे दिखाकर कि वी फॉलो दिस लाइफस्टाइल, नॉट मतलब we are like this, we follow this lifestyle, और मतलब we are not giving him directly but indirectly। तो मुझे वाला पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा लगा प्रहलाद महाराज का कि he is always focusing in how to give Krishna consciousness to others। तो ये अच्छा लगा, थैंक यू।
Oh, thank you. तो मेरे को मतलब 2 पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा लगे। एक तो मतलब एक बिलीफ के ऊपर था कि हम शास्त्र पे बिलीव करें या फिर हम साइंटिफिक नॉलेज पे बिलीव करें। तो उसमें प्रभुपाद बता रहे हैं कि साइंटिफिक नॉलेज पे क्यों नहीं बिलीव कर सकते, क्योंकि वो दे आर मेड बाय ह्यूमन है विच इज फॉलेबल। और व्हाई द ह्यूमंस आर फॉलेबल, बिकॉज दे आर engulfed with imperfect senses. So anything which is made by imperfect will be imperfect. तो दैट्स वाई जो शास्त्र हैं दे आर नॉट इम्परफेक्ट। अब बोलेंगे शास्त्र इम्परफेक्ट क्यों नहीं है, वो शास्त्र इम्परफेक्ट इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि वो डिसाइपलिक सक्सेशन में आ रहे हैं। ठीक है, उसमें एक ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन इस तरह का नहीं है कि अपना मन घड़त कुछ किसी ने एड ऑन करा है। जैसे इसमें बताया कि भगवान ने ये ज्ञान जो दिया था वो विवासवान जी को दिया था, उसके बाद मनु, फिर उन्होंने अपने बेटे को दिया था, वो डिसाइपलिक सक्सेशन ब्रेक हो गई थी। तो फिर भगवान ये सब बता रहे हैं और फिर भगवान ने ज्ञान अर्जुन को दिया, उसके थ्रू वो डिसाइपलिक सक्सेशन से प्रभुपाद के थ्रू हमारे पास आया है। तो इसलिए जो शास्त्र का ज्ञान है वो इनफॉलेबल है। तो एक तो मेरे को और मतलब दूसरा कि मतलब इसमें यही है कि मतलब बिलीफ जो है आपको क्यों शास्त्रों पे करना चाहिए और साइंटिफिक नॉलेज पे आप क्यों नहीं करना चाहिए। दूसरा मेरे को पॉइंट जो लगा वो ये बहुत अच्छा लगा कि एक तो मतलब हमारे अंदर प्रोपेंसिटी ऑफ चीटिंग है। ठीक है, तो वो भी एक तरह से इम्परफेक्ट सेंसेस का पार्ट है। ठीक है, और यस, आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड। वो दोनों चीजें कवर्ड होगी, इम्परफेक्ट सेंसेस और डिसाइपलिक सक्सेशन एंड फेथ। यस, दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड। यस, ईशू प्रभु, यू वांट टू ऐड समथिंग?
तो ये बस एक पॉइंट लास्ट जो था वो वाला जो प्रभुपाद बता रहे थे कि कॉन्शियस लेवल के अलग अलग, जो चेतना के अलग अलग लेवल रहते हैं, कि पहले आप समझेंगे कि आप मतलब माइंड है, उसके नीचे फिर इंटेलिजेंस जो आपको गाइड कर रहा है माइंड को, देयर आफ्टर उसके बाद फिर सोल का आएगा नॉलेज, फिर आप सुपर सोल का नॉलेज आएगा। तो इट्स अ प्रोसेस कि आपको पहले ही पता लगेगा कि सब आपको परमात्मा का रियलाइजेशन होएगा जब आप मतलब कॉन्स्टेंटली अगर इसमें लगे रहेंगे, मतलब सर्विस में लगे रहेंगे, चैंटिंग करेंगे कंटिन्यूअसली, तो तब जाके आपको रियलाइजेशन शुरू होने चाहिए कि सारी चीजें अलग अलग लेवल पे लग रही है। हम डेली जिंदगी में भी देखते हैं ना कि हाउ वी रियलाइज कि परमात्मा है कि नहीं एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं। तो जैसे एग्जांपल देते हैं, प्रभुपाद ही देते हैं कि जैसे हम सो के जब उठते हैं तो हमारी सारी चीजें, जब हम सो रहे होते हैं तो हम सारी चीजें भूल जाते हैं, लेकिन जब हम सो के उठते हैं तो हमें सारी चीजें वापस याद आ जाती है। तो ये रोल परमात्मा का है सैंक्शन करने का कि हमें कितनी चीजें रखनी है याद, कितनी चीजें नहीं रखनी है याद, कब रखनी है, क्या रखनी है। तो दिस इज नॉट समवन कि हम डिसाइड कर रहे हैं ये सारी चीजें। तो ये रियलाइजेशन जब तक नहीं आ सकते जब तक until unless we by ourselves realize that thing। कोई बोल देगा, क्योंकि प्रभुपाद भी तो करते हैं दिनों से यही बोल रहे हैं कि this is not the body, this is soul। बट रियलाइज करने में पता नहीं कितने साल लगेंगे इसे। इस साल में तो मुश्किल ही लग रहा है, बट या दिस इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू, या दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड।
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Prabhuji. So, anything anyone want to share? Okay, so we are good. We can stop. Vancha kalpatru bhesta kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Thank you for joining everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.